Hi all, good afternoon. I hope my voice is audible. So welcome all to this third session of this International Faculty Development Program. So today we will be starting with the program of Tableau basics. What is Tableau and like what we can do with Tableau. So for that, I'm going to present my screen. Let me know once you see my screen. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. So the software that you see in my screen at the moment is Tableau, right? So this Tableau is basically used as a BI tool or business intelligence tool to create the dashboards and publish those dashboards to Tableau server. Okay, so that's the main purpose of having the Tableau in place. So like Power BI, which is Microsoft tool, Tableau desktop is a tool or it's a software from the Tableau company community. So like we have Tableau desktop, we have other products available from Tableau company as well. So we have Tableau server, Tableau online, Tableau prep builder, Tableau viewer, and Tableau public. So Tableau server and Tableau online are basically used to share our work with different clients, and then they can actually see the things that they have asked to us to do in Tableau. So like we can connect in Power BI different data sources. Likewise here also in Tableau Professional, we can connect to different data sources. Now, in case you want to download Tableau, you can always go to the website and have this link in place. So I'm sharing this link. So I have shared the link in the chat box. You can check out over there. You can see over here, this is a Tableau official page for downloading Tableau desktop. It's a free version. The one that I am using at the moment is not free. It's a licensed version. That's why you can see more options. Basically, there are some of the differences between the two software. In the software link that I have given to you, you can just click on this option to download it to your system, and installation is just 1 or 2 steps process. Now coming back to Tableau desktop, so what we would be doing is we will be connecting to the Excel file, same sample superstore dataset, and then we will be creating the charts. Okay, we will also understand as to how to format the charts, how to use different features and calculations in Tableau, and how to build the dashboard at the end. Okay, so in this 3-day session for Tableau, where I'm also going to show you how to connect Tableau to databases. So now let's connect Tableau to our original Excel file, which is sample superstore. So I'm going to click on this Microsoft Excel, and as usual, I'm going to connect to the Excel file that we have, which is sample superstore. So I simply click on open. And now here you can see that we have the data source pane of Tableau. Now in the data source pane, at this point, it is asking us to drag the tables. It means you can see the sample superstore Excel file has been connected over here with these tabs. So the sheet names in Excel becomes tables in Tableau, much similar to what we saw in Power BI. So as usual, I'm going to use orders. I'm just dragging and dropping orders over here. And now you can see over here that we have the data present in this section. This section or this part of your screen is called as data preview pane. All right. And this section on the left hand side is nothing but called as manage metadata. So people who joined late, let me share the link with them again. So it's a link that I have shared. So in manage metadata section, you can see that what are the column names in the Tableau and what are the column names present in the Excel file or underlying data source. For example, these are the column names present in the Excel file, and same column names you can see over here in Tab. Now you can see these are the types, data types actually. Okay, so I will let you know about data types and what do you mean by dimensions and measures in Tab. On the right hand side, as I mentioned already, that this is called as a data preview pane, right? So in data preview pane, you can actually see the data, how many rows you have, as well as how many columns you have in this data set. So this data is coming from the table whose name is orders, this orders, right? Which I drag and drop to the right. Now in Tableau, there are two types of connections. One is live and extract. So we use live connection in case you want the data to be shown in Tableau in dynamic form or in real-time form. Like if the data is updated in Excel, I want to see the updated data in Tableau automatically. It's a real-time data. So I want live connection for that. Automatically data refresh would happen using live. In case of extract, what happens is you actually create the hard copy, or you actually create the offline copy of the underlying data source so as to share that underlying extract file with the people who don't have access to Excel file, who don't have access to this sample superstore. So for all those people, we create the extract and save the copy as offline. So right now I'm going with live connection, and then you see the options in the Tableau sheet. This is called as a Tableau book one. So in this book one, you can create as many sheets as possible as if it's like Excel. So we click on this sheet one, and you can get to see that we have the canvas available to create the charts. So the name of the sheet is sheet one. You can see there are many options shown here in the screen. On the left hand side, you can see the table name, which is coming from sample superstore. And these are the columns which you see, which are coming from the Excel file. On the top, you see the menu bar. So you can do lots of other options using menu bar, but we rarely use those. At bottom, you see a line that is called as a toolbar. So using toolbars, we will see what we can do using toolbars. So using those options, we can actually make changes in the chart. Now you can see rows, columns, marks, filters, pages. These are collectively called as shelves in Tableau. So this is rows shelf, columns shelf, marks shelf, filters shelf, and pages shelf. On the right hand side, you can see there is an option called as show me. So if I click on it, it will give you the sense of different types of charts that we can use in Tableau by default. So we have in total 24 traditional charts in Tableau, which we can use. Like Power BI, which has more charts than Tableau, we can create custom charts which are not available in the Tableau using the concepts of dual access and calculations. So now whatever the name that is given to this sheet tab, same name is given to the title of the chart, that is sheet one. Suppose I want to give the name here as bar chart. So I will see here bar chart as well. So if you double click and if I select bar chart, if I type bar chart, you see the title here also changes to bar chart. Now in one worksheet here, this is called as a canvas, right? In this worksheet, you cannot create any dashboard. You create the chart. You create the chart. So it may be bar chart. It may be bar chart and line chart together. It can be pie chart. It can be donut chart, or it can be any other chart. Now we already have the information about what chart types we should use in order to show the information in the dashboard. We know that, but we learned that in Power BI. Now here also we will be using the same concepts to create the chart. The concept is like if you want to do comparative analysis, then you may go with bar chart or stack bar chart or side by side chart. If you want to show the time period over the sales over the time period, so we can use line chart or area chart. If you want to find the percentage distribution of any particular numerical column, then we can use a pie chart or donut chart. We use the scatter chart to show the relationship between two numerical variables. In order to show the frequency distribution of any particular numerical variable, we can use the histogram. So the concept is same in both Tableau and Power BI. Only the process changes. Now on the left hand side, as I told, this is a data available with you. Now, there are two types of data. You see some data is shown, some data is shown in blue color, some data is shown in green color. So basically what it means is that the blue color pill that you see, the blue color pill, the column name is nothing but a dimension, whereas the green color pill is nothing but a measure. So dimensions and measures are the main two data types in Tableau. Now under dimensions and measures, you will see what types of dimensions are those. So dimensions means any data which is qualitative in nature and is discrete in nature. Discrete means finite in nature. For example, if you talk about categories, in our data set, we have in total only 3 categories. Okay, so 3 is a finite number. It's a discrete, right? So we can count categories also. So that's why category is considered as dimension, and it's a text data. You can see that ABC here represents text. So we have geographical data, we have data, right? We have Boolean data sets as well. So if you create any calculation which makes comparison like x equals to 5 or rank of cells is equal to 2, rank of sum of cells is equal to 2. So it's a comparison. So that comparison can be true for one row or it can be false for another. So the data type of that calculation would be Boolean. Okay. So Boolean means true or false. It gives either true or false. In our data set, we have text data, geographical data, which deals with geography. We have date data like order date and ship date. And we do have numerical data, which are measures. So all the numerical measures are denoted using hash. So these measures are nothing but continuous data, which are mostly focused on quantities. Okay, quantitative data are nothing but measures. All the quantitative data are continuous in nature. All the qualitative data are discrete and qualitative data discrete in nature. All right. Now, what we do using marks card, rows, and columns, that we will see by creating the charts and how do we format it. All right. So I'm going to create a bar chart of category wise sum of cells. So what happens is whenever you add cells either into rows or columns anywhere, then what would happen is that the values of those cells will be shown in aggregated form. So by default in Tableau, the aggregate function is sum. You can change it if you want, but by default, when you add any measure to rows or columns, it will show sum. Let's say for an instance, I have category. I'm dragging and dropping category to rows. Rows means the values of categories will be shown in the row format. The unique values of categories are shown in the row format. On the other hand, if I use category in the columns, you can see the same values of category dimension are shown in the columns format. Okay, so let me do one common setting so that I can change the font type as Arial across all the sheets. So to do that, I go to format option, workbook, and then I can change the font type to Arial. Okay, like this. And now worksheets will be. So now here you can see that we have the category. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the category into rows so that we can see the data into rows format for categories. Now for every category, I would like to show some offsets. So let's drag and drop cells to columns. So automatically you can see a bar chart, right? So in a second, you get to see a bar chart for this combination. So what Tableau does is whenever you have one dimension and a measure, or two dimensions and a measure, or multiple dimensions, multiple measures, you get to see a bar chart. As long as this dimension is not date, you get to see bar chart. The moment this dimension becomes date, you get to see a line chart by default. Okay. Now using this option I can make it bigger. So I can just go to standard and I can click on this option which says entire. If you do that, you can see the entire screen has been captured by bar chart. Suppose I want to sort this bar chart from highest to lowest. So what I can do, first of all, you click on T icon to know the numbers. So these numbers represent sum of cells, right? Because we have created the chart of category wise sum of cells. So these numbers are definitely sum of cells values for every category. Using these two icons, we can do sorting. So if I click on this icon, you can see what happens in the chart. If I click on this icon, you can see what happened just now. So this is called as a descending sorting. This is called as a ascending sorting, right? Using this option, I can actually change categories and sum of cells positions. Like category, which is in rows at the moment. If I click here, we'll go to columns and sum of cells will come back to rows. So let's click it. Because you have exchanged the position of rows with columns and columns with rows, you can see the chart changes, right? So the thumb rule is that whatever you add in the column shelf, that is nothing but x-axis. You can see the x-axis. Whatever things you add on rows, that becomes a y-axis. So I'm going to go with this, right? Suppose you want to remove entire content from the sheet. So what you can do is you can simply click on this option which says clear sheet. So clear sheet will actually clear all the content present in the sheet. If you undo, you can get back to see the previous things. All right. So normally whenever we create a chart, that chart we actually format. Okay. The chart that we create, we normally format it into our own way. So normally we don't show the x-axis. We don't show the grid lines. Okay. We hide this label, which is category label, right? Then we convert the values into K format. So these kinds of formatting we know. So in order to do that, so what I will do is I will create one chart and I will ask you to create the same chart in your system. Okay. I will give you the time of 10 minutes. So in those 10 minutes, connect the data to sample superstore, right? Add the category and sum of cells into rows and columns format. And then have this chart created in the form that I have shown. So to hide the axis, we right click on x-axis and I click on this option which says show header. So let's click it. Okay. Now I want to hide this category also. So I can simply right click on category and we select the option which says hide field labels. All right. Now I can format these numbers to key format, right? So these numbers are nothing but sum of cells. So I need to format sum of cells into 1000 units, right? So for that purpose, what I can do is I can right click on sum of cells and you see the format option. Now, when you say format sum of cells, you see here what is written on the top, axis and pane. So I don't want to format the numbers present on x-axis. I want to format the numbers which are on the bars. So I should select pane. And then you see the numbers drop down. You can go here. You can select number custom and decimal places should be 0. And now you can change the display units from here to either thousands, millions, billions, or trillions. So I can select thousands at the moment. And now you can see the values have now been converted to K format. Another thing that I said is to remove the grid lines. Remove the grid lines means what? These are the grid lines. Now these grid lines I would like to remove. So how do we do that? We do that very easily by right clicking, format, and then there's an option called as lines. If you see over, this option is nothing but lines. So we click on lines. Now, because these lines are vertical in nature, we want to select columns and then we can remove the grid lines from this option. You can go here and you can see the color, the line type, the line variations, and none. If you don't want any color, any line, you can select none. So now you can see that we have successfully created the bar chart without any background noises. Correct? So this way we can use or change the formatting of bar chart. When you hover the mouse on any bar, it shows some option in this white color box. It is called as a tooltip. In Power BI also, it is called as a tooltip. So when I hover the mouse on the next category, it shows the information about that category. Now, how do we change? How do we change the colors? You can change the colors from here. So we go to color and then we select any color. So let's say I want orange color, so I can select orange. If I want this color, I can go with this color. If I want maroon, I can go with maroon, right? If I want black, I can go with black as well. So let's go with this color, blue color. You can see blue. Perfect. You can see that. So this was a color that we had used in Power BI, isn't it? So you can use the same color over here if you, otherwise we can go with this. So now I'm giving you time of 10 minutes. Please create this chart and let me know once it is done. So I'm muting myself at the moment. So please create this chart as it is. Yes, I see someone has created. Very good. Let's wait for others. Please do practice, everyone. Let me know. I have given time. Okay. So let's go ahead now. I hope you might have done that. So over the course of time, since we are learning the charts, you can practice along with me so that there won't be any delay. Okay. And you can also do the practice along with me and do the formatting along with me so that you will be having a good time at it. So this is a bar chart that I have done. Now let's go to the next. Next, let's create a pie chart. So I need to create a pie chart which consists of regional cells. Okay, so I'm giving a name to this sheet as pie chart. So in the pie chart, I need to create the region-wise cells. All right. So what I need is I need to create a region-wise cells. So region-wise cells means it gives me information about which region is having more cells than the other regions. So to explain that concept, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add region and sum of cells in the rows and columns. So let me add region into rows. Let me add cells into columns. So now you can see that we have region-wise cells present as the bar chart. Now, if I go to show me, I don't want bar chart, I need pie. So I click on show me and I click on pie. Now you can see over here how the chart is shown. All right. So I can make this as an entire view. You can see how the chart looks. I can just sort it. I can make it big looker. Like I can make it look bigger actually. So using size, I can do that. Using size, you can increase the size of the radius of this pie. Okay. So now, actually, if I click on T icon, it will just show me the numbers. It is going to show me the numbers which represent sum of cells. But what I need is, I need to show the sum of cells values as well as the region names. For example, you see the legends on the right. Okay? We have the legends shown on the right hand side, west, east, central, and south. So what I need is, I want to show here the names of region as well as sum of cells. So to do that, we use the marks card called as label. So label is basically used to show the value of particular dimension in the chart. So when you drag and drop region into label, you'll get to see all the names of regions for every slice. Let me show that. You can see, right? Now, suppose I want to show the sum of sales value below every region. I can do that as well. I can add sales value into the label and you can see the value for every region. So that is the purpose of region-wise sales. That is the purpose of label marks card. Apart from that, you can also do the alignment. Like in the bar chart, you can see the values that I have. I wanted to align to center or to the end. So I can do that very easily by going into label and then alignment, right? So I can go to alignment and I can change the horizontal alignment and vertical alignment. So if I click here, the values are shown the center. If I click here, the same values are now shown at the bottom. You can see all the values are at the inside it. If I want to show the values on the right, I'll go to alignment and I will select this icon which says align it to right. Okay. So let me put the values into center, horizontally center. So I go to label, alignment, and then I click on center. Now, in case you want, I want this value to be in white color. So I can go to label, I can go to alignment, I can go to font, and then I can change the color. So you can select any color. So this color represents the font, the label. So if you turn it white, the values are in white. If you make it bold, the values are in bold, italics, underline. This way. Very, very simple. You can also increase the font size if you want. Okay. So this way I'm putting the labels inside and formatting it using label. So that's what label is. If you see the icon of label, it shows T. It matches with this T, right? So if you see the icons over here, T, so what dimension and measures are used? Region dimension is used on T. So T represents label. Hence, region represents label of region. So that's what is shown. Sum of sales is also used on T, which represents label showing the values for that column. So that's why I get to see the numbers. All right. So that's how we can understand from these icons what is the purpose of each dimension and measure in marks card. Okay. So this is about the pie chart. So this is what pie chart is all about. Now let's go ahead and see the next one. There is line chart. So I want to show the year-wise sales or month-wise sales or maybe quarter-wise sales or day-wise sales. So I can do that and I can show that in the line chart in Tableau. And same thing we did in PowerBi. I had shown line chart and area chart. So in order to show line chart, we can add the order date to the columns. You can see by default, whenever I have the date dimension, I get to see the hierarchy. What is the hierarchy? If I click on plus sign, I get to see quarter. You can see quarter values. So first column is year. Second column is quarter. If I click on plus sign, the third column is month. And if I click on plus sign, the last column is day. So same kind of hierarchy we had seen in PowerBi as well. So there are some similarities between the two tools. So here I need year in the columns and I don't want to show hierarchy in the line chart. What I need is I just want to show the year value or maybe the month value. So let's now show month value. So suppose if I go to the drop down of year of order date, you can see year is selected. Now, if you select this month, you can see the distinct values or discrete values of the months, January to December, right? So I want to show the sales value. So I can add up sales value to this. And now by default, you get to see a line chart. So how to read this chart? This chart is basically depicting the trend of sales over the period of time. So in January, what happened? And in December, what happened? So since we are using the same data set, we have the data from 2020 until 2023. It means we have the data of 4 years, right? So it means we have 4 Januaries, 4 Februaries, 4 March, and so on, 4 Decembers. So the question is, suppose if I click on T icon, this T icon will definitely show me the numbers which represent some of sales, the major numbers. So the question is this data, right? March, for March it shows 2,10,670. Okay. So the question is what data it is representing and how we can interpret this plot, how we can understand this data. The thing is that since I already mentioned that this is like a discrete line chart, so which means the data that you see for every point, that data is represented as total sales of all the 4 years combined for that month, which means this data is representing the March sales of all the 4 years, only March. This represents the April month of all the 4 years total sales. This is called as a discrete month. So yesterday, in the 2 days when we learned Power BI, we had learned about hierarchy, right? So when you had the same line chart in Power BI, so we clicked on this icon, right? So the same option or the same thing it used to show here. On the other hand, if I click on this icon of Power BI like this, so what it shows every year, every month sales. So do we have every year, every month kind of scenario here as well? Yes, we have. So to do that, this is a discrete month. That's why it shows the value in blue. Because I want the value in continuous form, I click on this month. So this month is a discrete. This month is continuous. So if I click on this continuous month, you get to see the data. Now let me convert these values into K. So I can format as usual. So I can right click on sum of cells and format it. Perfect. Now you can see that this is the line chart which is actually showing the sales of each year, each month. How we can see that. So let's click here. Let's hover the mouse and you can see that it says January 2020, 15,000. February 2020, March 2020, April 2020, May 2020, so on till October 23, November 23, and December 23. So since we have 4 years, hence we have 48 points, right? So you can see over here we have 48 marks. And the total sales of all the 48 marks that is shown in the chart is 2.3 millions or 23 lakhs. All right. So that's how we can, understand this chart. So from this, I got to know that this month is having the highest sales. This month of 2023 had the highest month when you compare it with any month, any year. So November 2023 is having highest sales. And February 2020 is having lowest sales. That's what I can understand. All right. Now I can remove the grid lines by right clicking and formatting. I can go to rows. I can remove the grid lines. Plus, I don't want this y-axis line also. So that is called as axis ruler. So I can just go here and I can say that. So there is no y-axis thin line. Plus, I don't need y-axis. So I right click on y-axis and I select this option. It says show data. So very, very simple stuff. All right. So this is about the line chart. Okay. Now, in order to change the line color and all, obviously you have this option. You can go to color and you can change it to any color. Let's say black color or maroon color. If you think that these colors are not sufficient for you to give the colors, you can always click on more colors. And then a basic color palette appears. So you can select the color from here. Still, you are not satisfied with the color palette. You can mention the RGB color code or HTML color code of that color which you want in the chart. Isn't it? So even you can click on pick screen color. For example, If I want to give this background color, this major color that you see, green color, if I would like to give this color to the line chart, but I don't know what is RGB code or HTML code of this, I even don't know what's the name of this color, I can simply click on this option which says pick screen color. And then I can just hover the mouse on the screen, click it. Now the color is captured. Now click OK. You see, same color matching. All right. Now from this drop down, marks card drop down, you can actually change the chart into any other chart. Like you can change the chart to either bar chart, area chart, square, circle, shape, text, anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this line into area. And now you see how the chart looks. Okay, so this is the area chart. Now this area chart, I actually want to, show the transparency of this area to maybe 50% or maybe 80%. So that this color, the dark color becomes light. So I can do that very easily by going into color, and you can see opacity options. So if you increase the opacity, you can see the color becomes darker. So opacity is like opposite of transparency. If I decrease the opacity, you are adding the transparency. So you can see the white color shading appears. Right? This looks cool, isn't it? So that's how we can understand about the area chart, line chart or area chart. So I can now change this to maybe quarter. So this is quarter by sales. You can see the x-axis, it says quarter. Now, if your requirement is each year, each quarter, then right click on quarter. This quarter is discrete, like all the 4 years together. This quarter is like each year, each quarter. And now you get to see the function. All right. The GUI of Tableau is much better than that of Power BI. There are some pros and cons of each tool. So like you will get to know once you learn and deep dive into every tool and understand the concepts thoroughly. So I hope you understand this line chart and how do we change it. Now I can go to the next one and we'll see how to create a table. How to create a table. So let's say for an instance, I want to create a crosstab like structure, or I want to create a pivot table kind structure in Tableau. So we can take the help of these rows and columns shelves. For example, if my requirement is to show the data in table format in this way, let's say I want category followed by subcategory followed by sales and profit. So this sales and profit that I'm writing, it has to repeat for every year. This has to repeat for every year. Okay, so let me put it in this way. All right. And on the top, I want the year values like 2020, 2021. All right. Then we have 2022. And lastly, we have 2023. So that's how I want to show the data actually. I want the data to be shown in this format. Categories, subcategories. Then for every year, make a group of sales and profit. Show for every year this value. And the value should be shown in table format and not in any chart format, right? That's what the requirement is. So since the category values will come row by row, subcategory values will come row by row, the sales and profit values would come in the rows again. The 2020 to 2023, these values are not shown in the rows. These values are shown in the columns. First column, second column, third column, fourth column. So it means in the rows, what we need is we need the categories, subcategories, and in the columns, I need the year of order date. Okay. So whenever by default you add the order date into columns, the hierarchy is shown and the first dimension in that hierarchy is year. Okay. Now let's add categories, subcategories to rows. We have categories, we have subcategories, and then I need the year of order date in columns. Right? So this is how I want it, isn't it? Now let's make the things look little bigger. So I do that by using entire view. I can increase the distance between two columns by hovering the mouse in this way and dragging and dropping the column width to the right. Same goes for subcategory. Suppose I want to increase the height of column names. I can hover the mouse below the column names. I can get to see the icon up and down. So you can simply drag and drop that down. Okay. Now, if you see, we have order date shown, which I don't want to show. So I can right click on order date. I can select the option which says I field labels for this. Okay. So we have created this structure. Now, in place of ABCs, we need the sales and profit. Okay. So to do that, I simply double click on sales so that values will be shown in the table. Simply double click on sales. Can we see the sales values? Yes. The values that you see for every year are the sales values. You can see sum of sales comes into text automatically when you double click on sales. If you add sales value into either rows and columns, either rows or columns, you will not get to see the table. Instead, you will get to see the bar. So this table would look like applying the conditional formatting as a data bar. Okay. So that we don't want. That's why we simply double clicked on sales. Because I want to show profit also, I will double click on profit. So let's double click on it. And now you can see we have profit and sales information shown in the table. Now let's make sure that the values we have, those values we can format into center, like we can align them to center using this text option. So I can go to text. You see alignment. I need the values to be shown horizontally, so horizontally center. Now you can see the year value and the sales values are in one line. You can see. Okay. But this is not I wanted actually. I wanted for every year sales and profit. Okay. So if you can interchange the position of these two. So major names means the names of the majors, the names, the column names of the numerical fields. So these are the numerical columns, right? So we have the names as sales and profit, right? So profit is a name of column. Sales is a name of a column, which is number. And numbers are measures. Hence the concept is measures. And all these values are collectively called as major values. So this is a value for profit. And these are the values for sales. These are collectively called as major values. And these two things are collectively called as major names. So now if I want to put sales and profit below this year, I need to interchange the position of these two things, discrete fields. So let's drag and drop major names ahead of year of order date. And now you can see this is how I want it. But still there is a scope that I need the sales value to be shown before profit. I want to interchange these two. So to do that, we can do that from here. Right? You simply add profit below sales. You can simply drag and drop in this way, and you see the magic. And this is exactly what we want, isn't it? So it's very, very simple and very interesting how we can show the cross tab like stuff in tab. So this is called as a text table in tab. All right. So when I hover the mouse here, it says the tooltip, right? If you don't want tooltip to be shown, you can always go to this tooltip option. You can see you can make the changes over here. Like you can change the font size. You can make the things bold, italic, underline. You can change the color, or you can change the alignment as well. If you don't want anything to be shown, you can simply select and remove it in this way. If you don't want to show anything, you simply click on this icon which says, or this checkbox which says show tooltips. So nothing will be shown when you hover the mouse in the table. So let's see that. Now when I hover the mouse, I don't see any tooltip, right? I have turned it off. All right. So I hope you might have learned this and you got an idea as to how to effectively use the rows, columns, and the mark shelf. All right. So we have seen bar chart, we have seen pie chart, we have seen line chart and area chart, and here we have table. So under show me, you can see that we don't have donut chart. We have only pie chart. Okay. So very simple. So one question is, I need to change the profit values in red, whose are negative values. So there's a question that if I want the profit here as negative, if those are negative values, then I want them in red and the other values to be shown in green, for example. How do we do that? We do that very simply. We can use the calculation, and using calculation, we can add up the things in the color marks. You can also drag and drop the things on color marks. For example, if I go to bar chart, now when I select the color, any color from here, what happens is all the bars are changed by their color, right? So this I don't want. What I need is every category I need different colors. So I want colors as per category values, right? These category values. So I must drag and drop this category to the color marks card in this way. Right? So now you can see we have different colors for every bar, isn't it? Now, who is responsible to give the colors over here? It is category. You can see the icon of category. It looks like a Rangoli icon. So this icon is matching up with this color. So the purpose of category in the marks card is to give the color to the chart, isn't it? I can change the title also. Like I can simply double click on bar chart, and here whatever is the name of the sheet, that name comes up over here. That's why in the brackets it says sheet, and here I need category by sales, so I'm typing that this one. Right? I can put it over here. I can change the font type, font size 20. Okay, I can change the color and underline. Perfect. Now you can see we have the title changed. If you don't change the title of the chart will be same as the sheet name. Okay. By default, it will be same. So this is a pie chart. Again, you can change the title. Again, you can change the colors. So let's say for an instance, I don't like this color. How do we change the colors? I can again go to color. Now this time around, I get to see the option which says edit colors. Whatever the colors Tableau has given, I would like to change those. So for that purpose, I click on edit colors. Right? So you can decide which color you want. Okay. So for example, you double click on furniture and select which color you want. So let's say furniture, this second one, I need maybe black color. So I'm selecting black. This technology, I need the sky blue color. So let me select sky blue. And the office supplies, probably I can go with this color. All right, let's click. And now you see we have altogether different colors. Okay. So this way I am actually changing the colors. Whatever the concept that I have just shown to you by adding the dimension into color, right? Or changing the values for any category, any color. So that can be applied, that type of concept can be applied to any chart, right? That's what it means. Let's say for an instance, this is not my requirement. So I will drag and drop category down. This is not my requirement. My requirement was I want to show the higher cells in darker color and lower cells, the least cells in lightest color. It means the cells is deciding who is darker, who is lighter, right? Because these numbers are what? Sum of cells. Because sum of cells is deciding who should be darker and who should be lighter, we should add sum of cells to color. So let's add cells to color. This. And now you see who is darker, who is lighter. Okay. So you can also see the color range, right? So lighter color means this least value, darker color is this 8,30,000. You can also go to edit color, and now you get to see some different screen. You can change the color from here if you want, or you can also change the step colors. Maybe you can give 3. So these are the 3 steps colors: darker, I mean highest, second highest, and the lowest values. You can see. All right. So these are the variations, like these kinds of variations you get. Now let's say for an instance, I want to show subcategory wise cells now. I want to show subcategory wise cells now. So is it possible that I can change category and add up some other dimension in place of it? Yes, you can do that. So in order to do that, I simply drag and drop the subcategory over here. Or I can simply drag and drop subcategory on top of category this way. And let's sort it from highest to lowest. And now you have some beautiful view, right? So you can now see how effective is this visualization. Okay, quite simple. So the requirement and the problem statement would let you know what kind of chart you have to prepare, what kind of colors you have to use, what kind of font type and font sizes you have to use in every chart, and what kind of tooltip you have to show in every chart. For example, let's say I want to show, if I hover the mouse on pie chart, what I need is I want to show in the tooltip the bar chart. Is it possible? When I hover the mouse on any slice, suppose west slice, I'm hovering the mouse. So in the tooltip, I want to embed the chart, bar chart. So we can do that very easily by going into tooltip. So I can just remove this. I can simply go to insert and I can insert the sheet. Which sheet? I want to insert the bar chart sheet. So I'm inserting that bar chart. Okay. And now you can see what is written over here. Over here, if you see, it shows the information about what is the maximum width of the screen of the tooltip and what is the maximum height. So I can change the width and height accordingly. I can change the width to be 700 and height as maybe 500. So let's click OK. And now when I go to full screen mode, when I hover the mouse, you see, isn't it? It's very, very simple. So what is happening is out of 7,39,739K or 740K cells of West, 107K cells is coming from chairs. 99,000 of cells is coming from phones. 85,000 of cells is coming from tables and so on. So actually this is giving me the depth in my analysis when you hover the mouse. So out of 392K cells of South, which is the highest out of that? Phones. So in South, phones is getting sold the most. Okay, followed by machines and then chairs. Let's see in Central. It is chairs, phones, and binders, the top 3. Let's go to East. So we have phones, chairs, and storage in the East. That's what it means. All right. So I hope you might have understood that. I'm giving you 5 minutes of time. So please do this activity as well. So hover the mouse on the slice. I mean pie chart, and have the subcategory by sales shown in the tooltip. Please do that. I have given you time till 4:10. So please complete that. Sir, is there a difference, free edition of Tableau available? The one that I have shared the link in the chat window at the beginning. So you can download that and you can use it. Okay. Please share it again. Sure. Let me just open Tableau. Yeah, that's great, Dr. Muralidhar. Let's wait for others. Yeah, very good. Yes, so you can change the color as black. Okay. You can go to formatting and you can change the color as black. For example, let's say for an instance, when suppose I want to change the color of any table or any particular aspect, you can write, you can always go to format, workbook, and here you can see I'm using the black color. I'm not using the gray color. So Tableau by default shows you gray color for any workbook you open. So use black colors. So all the worksheets will have black color everywhere. Okay. Okay. So now let's go ahead as I had given time till 4:10. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the filters. So as I told in Power BI as well, the main purpose of the filters is to show you the data at proper level. Like I want to see the data for a specific value. For example, I want to see the sales for India country or USA country, or I want to see the data only for furniture category. I want to see the profit only for technology category. So we apply the filters, we apply the dimensions and measures over here in filters. So basically, when we work in Tableau dashboards, the most frequently used filters are dimensions and measures. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So yeah, we will be having session till 4:30 today. So, sorry for the early exit. Okay. Yeah, so I was telling like I want to apply the filters which are dimensions and measures filters. Mostly in Tableau, when you work in Tableau, we normally apply the filters which are related to dimensions and measures. For example, suppose I want to create a product name versus sum of sales as a bar chart. So what I can do, I can add a product name into rows and sum of cells into columns. And then I can use this icon to sort it and use this icon to show the sum of sales values for every product. So let me create that chart first. Okay. Sort, show the labels. You can see the labels over here. And now I can increase the distance between the two. This way. Perfect. Now that we have created the bar chart which shows product wise sum of sales. I want to apply the filter on this data. I want to apply the filter on this data. So what kind of filter? Let's see. Let me just remove the grid lines. Okay. And let me hide the tooltips as well. Okay. So what I need is, so you can see that how many rows we have, how many bars we have. You can check it from bottom left side. There are in total 1849 products, meaning that we have shown 1849 products and the sum of sales values alongside that, alongside all those products. Okay? You can see those. Now, suppose I want to know out of this, I want to see some specific products. So that's why I'm going to apply the filter on product name by dragging and dropping product name into filter shelf in this way, right? And now if I click on this radio button, you can see under general tab, you can select specific filters which you want. This is same as Excel. When you apply the filters in Excel also, in the drop down of Excel, you get to see the check boxes which you want to select, you can see. Isn't it? Now, let's say I want to select only Apple products. So I cannot search everywhere where is Apple, right? It may so happen that the Apple products might be started with the name Apple, or it may so happen that Apple products may have the Apple word, maybe written somewhere in the middle. So since there are many values, 1849 values, and we have selected all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wildcard option. And in the wildcard option, we have the option called as match value. So I'm saying, please show me Apple, which is starting. Show me those products for product. Show me those values of product names which are starting with this string. So basically using wildcard, we are matching up the Apple. So let's say how many products are there where Apple is content. First, let's see that. Can we see? We can see that these are the Apple products. Okay. Now I want to know out of these products that I am showing, how many products are there? Let me put 11. Yeah. Out of the products that I'm showing at the moment, how many products are there who are starting with the name Apple? Like this is starting with Apple, Apple, Apple. This is not starting with Apple, neither this one nor this one, but this one. So in total, there are 4 Apple products starting with the word Apple. So if I want like that, I can simply right click and I can select edit filter. You can see how many filters you have applied in this section. You can see over here in wildcard, you have said contains Apple. So I'm saying I want to show those products which are starting with the word Apple. So I select starts with. And now you can see the products which are starting with the name Apple. As simple as that, isn't it? So that's the best way to search and get the things as per the requirement. Okay. Now suppose I want to clear the list, I want to clear the filter, I can right click and I can select this option which says clear the filter. So whichever the filters you have applied here will be cleared. Now you can see all the 1849 rows. Now the next thing that I want is I want to show those products whose sum of sales values. What are these numbers? Sum of sales. Whose sum of sales values are more than 20,000. It means these products. Show the products whose sum of sales value is more than 20,000. So to do that, I add the product name again to the filters. And this time around, I go to condition tab. And in the condition tab, I can mention the condition that the sum of sales value should be, we are already aware of these icons, like this is equal to, this is not equal to, less than equal to, greater than, and greater than equal to. So I'm saying, show me all the products which are greater than or equal to 20,000. Okay. Filter the product name based on condition. What condition? This condition. You can select any column. Okay. Not necessarily sales. You can select any other column and any other aggregate function. Okay. So I want those products whose sum of sales values are more than 20K. So let's select, and you see the sum of sales values, isn't it? So this way we can apply the filters in Tableau. All right. Apart from this, you can also show top and bottom. So suppose my requirement is to see top 5 products. I can go here, edit filter. I can first go to condition to make it none. Don't apply any condition. I just want to show top filter. So go to top, by field, how many values you want in the products from top. So I want 5. So I type 5. So top 5 according to what? According to sum of sales. So make sure sum of sales is shown. And we click OK. And now you can see how many bars I get. Top 5. Right? At the same time, suppose I want bottom 5, I can do the same step. I can go to edit filter. You can see limit is top 5 by sum of sales. So let's go to top. Change the top to bottom. So we have bottom 5 by sum of sales. So we have actually filtered the product names to show only worst performing products. These are the worst performing bottom 5 products. All right. So this way we have, changed the filters. If the data changes for sum of sales, the filter will change, and hence the chart will change. Okay, so the filters are dynamic. Okay, so in this product name dimension, suppose I want to show those products whose sum of sales value is between, let's say 15,000 to 20,000. I want to show those products whose sum of sales value is between 15,000 to 20,000. So how do we do that? We do that very simply by adding the major filter. Okay, because in dimension filter, it was not possible for us to select the range. Because you can either say more than 20, or you can say more than 50, or less than 20. But I want between 15 and 20. So that was not possible. Because of that, I can add the major filter. So who is a major in this chart? It is sum of sales. So that's why I'm going to add sum of sales to filters. I can select the sum. I can click on next. And here you can see range of values. So I can add a 15,000 to 20,000. So this is lower value and this is upper value. Let's click OK. So you can see the 15 to 20 data, 15,000 to 20,000. Very simple, isn't it? So you just mention what you want, what is your condition, the filter will be applied. Okay. Now, if you say that in 15 to 20, I want to see top 3. Is it possible? Show the product whose sum of sales is between 15,000 to 20,000. And then out of the values that you are getting, out of those values, show me top 3. Means show me these 3. Is it possible? Yeah. So top and bottom always comes in dimension filter. So we add the dimension of product name into filter shape. And we apply the condition as top 3. Top 3 by sum of sales. So in available data set, if I click OK, am I getting any data? I'm not getting any data. Why? Because in product name filter, what have you used? Top 3. So actually the top 3 values are, 27,000, 61,000 and so on. These are not those products which come in top 3, right? So these are the products which I have filtered only for 15 to 20. Okay. So what I can do is I can add the product name. Okay. I can say, show me top 3. Okay. And now what I can do, I can right click on sum of sales. Sorry, I can right click on product name. And if I say add to context, I see nothing. Why? Because this is a context filter, which is not affecting the chart at all at the moment. Okay. So why this is happening is because in the order of operation of filters, the dimension filter is performed first, followed by major filter. So if dimension filter says show me top 3, so preference of that filter is given first by Tableau. And then your major filter which says 15 to 20. So one filter says show the data between 15,000 to 20,000. Another filter says that show me the data which are top three. So these are top three, right? So how come you can get to see those products who are in 15 to 20 as well as 22 to 61, right? The same product can't appear at two places. That's why you did not get the result. Okay. So this is about the filters, how you can make use of filters in Tableau. Okay. So this was a fourth shelf in Tableau, like rows, columns, marks, filters. These are collectively called as shelves, right? So we have completed 4 shelves. Now I'm going to show you about pages. What are pages? Pages is like it is used for creating the animated chart or showing the page one by one. For example, let's say for an instance, I want to show maybe year wise or maybe every year and every quarter the product wise sales in an animated form. I can do that very easily by adding the month of or quarter of order date into page. So let's do that. So when I add the order date into page this way, you can see that the bars have changed because in the title you see it says 2020. So this is a page. So this page is represented for 2020 year. But what I said, I don't want year, I want every year, every quarter. So I will not select this. I will select this every year, every quarter. So let's select that. You can see 2020 quarter one, right? That's how we can understand, isn't it? So let's apply this particular page over here in subcategory wise sales. All right. So what I'm going to do, let me use white color. Perfect. And now let me just remove this color and all. Okay, this is what we have, the proper subcategory wise sales. Okay. And what I need is I need to show the each year, each quarter sales for subcategory. So let's do that. Let's add up order date to pages. And let's select right click on year of quarter date, order date, and let's select each year, each quarter value. That means this value, right? And you can see in the top, at the top, it says 2020 quarter one. So I want the title over here. Whatever the selection you have made, that selection I would like to show here in the title. So to show that, what I can do is I can simply double click here. I can remove the things that I had added initially, and I can insert the page. So using insert option, I can insert the page. So which page? The page name. At the moment, what is the page? 2020 quarter. So let's select page this way. Perfect. Now we can format this way. Now we can see what it is. It says 2020 quarter. Now let me turn on the animation. Animation is already on, but it is in fast speed. I want that fast speed to be changed to slow speed. So to do that, I'm doing this settings, format, animations. You can see that animation is on at the moment and the duration is fast. Means from one page to another page, if I change this here, the duration is of just 0.3 seconds, which is very less. I can't see in 0.3 seconds all values. So that's why I'm changing this fast to slow mode. So show me the animation in the slow, right? And now I can simply click on this play button and enjoy the animation. Powerful data visualization tool, Tableau. Isn't it? You can see the title, chart title as well, how dynamically it changes. So every year, every quarter, you are getting to know the subcategory wise, who is topping the list and who is at the bottom. And this is the last one. Perfect. Okay. So that's how we can understand about the pages. So every value that you see over here, that is nothing but one page. Every value. All right. If you don't want any animation, you can simply remove it and throw it out, and then you can see that there are no animations. Okay, so I hope you might have understood and enjoyed this session for Tableau. And we have learned today about the general introduction of what Tableau is, what is data source section. So in data source sections, you can perform the joins and all. You can perform the data modeling stuff here. You can change between the connections. You can check out the data types, the manage metadata section as well. You can pull in different tables in this section. And in the sheet level details, what you can do, you can actually show what you want in the rows and columns. The marks card is basically used to beautify the chart by either adding the colors, changing the size of the bars, and or by adding the more labels to the chart, like we did in pie chart, isn't it? And filters are basically used. So I have shown you the way how to apply filters, for what condition, for what purpose we have to use filters. Based on that, we can apply. And we just learned about what pages are and how we can effectively use pages. All right. So this is how we can think of the shelves in Tableau. We have also created different charts, starting with bar, pie, line, which later was converted into area, and followed by this cross tab, right? So in case you want this to be formatted, like you want background color in this table, you want font color to be changed, you can do that very easily by formatting stuff. Okay. So you can right click on subcategory and you can see this option which says format, and you can change this corner font and shading. So let's see, for an instance, I need the font as maybe this one, right? You can see the font changes, and same way here also, format. In the format, you see font means font color, shading means background color. So I would like to give the same font everywhere, and for 2020 as well. This format, font, this color. Perfect, isn't it? Okay, so that's how we can change the colors of the fonts of the color columns, right? So that's it from my end. So I hope we will meet with the same, like different approach and different features tomorrow. And whatever the things that we did today, you can obviously see the video on YouTube and you can practice the things. And we will see the other things, other features in Tableau to analyze the data effectively. So thank you all, and let's connect tomorrow at the same time.
Participant, if you have a query or question, now please drop in the chat box. I will take it up. Yeah, I am sharing the attendance link once again in the chat box. Please mark your attendance. Today's session will be very useful for me. Okay, thank you so much. Anything else? Any different query, question, any problem you are facing? Team, please mark your attendance because 60% attendance is mandatory to get the certificate, and give your valuable feedback as well. Thank you. Yeah, we are done with the session. If you don't have any query or question, then you can leave. So we'll meet you on tomorrow at same time. We're done with the today's agenda. Thank you so much, all of you, for such a wonderful feedback. Done, sir. Thank you. Welcome. Sir, I have tried many times, but I'm not able to download the Tableau app. Okay, so please drop an email to edl@excelr.com. Our team will connect with you and help you on the same. I'm sharing that mail ID with all of your team. So if any query or any question, please feel free to drop an email. I'm sharing over YouTube as well. Sir, I missed. Can you please help me for same? I was present during a PowerBi session. So thing is that now the attendance link is open between a specified time, and the time is 4:30 to 5:30. So we're not able to share that day one attendance link. So anyway, 60% it is mandatory. So try to do all the remaining sessions, be like tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Okay, I'm sharing the attendance link once again in the chat box. Team, please mark your attendance. Don't forget to mark your attendance and share your valuable feedback with us. Yeah, 1 minute I'm sharing. I had given feedback. Okay, thank you. Attendance and feedback is the same link or different? So attendance and feedback link is the same only. Once clear. There is one question from Jafar Abbas, what to do if I attend by YouTube? So thing is that now we are sharing the attendance link over YouTube as well. Please update if there are sessions regarding the business analyst. There is a pros and responsibility to learn more about your skill, power, and programming language. So Somesh, I am sharing the email ID. Please drop an email. So our team will connect with you and we will inform you the same. Good evening, sir. I am registered with the, but as I am submitting my attendance from daily from my mobile, it's taking only days. Yeah, so there is no any problem. You will receive a certificate on the same email ID which you are using to fill the attendance. Okay. So don't worry about that. YouTube participants, if you have any query now, please drop in the chat box in the live chat only. Sir, yesterday I forgot to mark attendance. Can I fill the form for attendance? Yeah. Actually, thing is that now the attendance link is open between 4:30 to 5:30 on the same day. So we are not able to share that link. So you need to mark your attendance on a daily basis and in specified time only. So Sulochana is saying, sir, feedback link is not opening. Tried many times. So try to change your browser. Because it's working for all others. So try to change your browser. It will work definitely. Okay. Anything else, team? So there is a question regarding to the recorded sessions. So team, the recorded sessions are available for lifetime over LMS. So you can access that anytime. Share today's attendance link. Yeah, we are done with the today's session. We covered the agenda. So if you don't have any query or question, you can leave the session. So we'll meet you on tomorrow at same time. There is one more question. How many days session will be there? So we are done with the 3 days, 2 more days till Friday. So we have total 5 sessions, 10 hours. 1 to 5 grading, is there useful to not useful? Which one I have to opt it? It's be like 5 for good and 1 for bad, like neutral, bad, good, and very good, like that. So 5 is for very good. Attendance link, please. Okay, I'm sharing that. Okay, so there is no any query or question. So we'll wind up for the day and we'll meet you on tomorrow at same time. So thank you so much all of you for joining the session.